It's Kevin Keatsman Uncanceled on 95.7 FM, KCMO Talk Radio.
Good morning, Kansas City. Welcome to Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio, 95.7 FM. I've got a little bit of an American flag on my hoodie today, but I am not wearing the attire that Mark Van Sickle is. What exactly would you call that hat, my friend? That is spectacular.
This is a trapper hat, so I can undo it, and then the flaps come out over the ears.
Oh, now you look
nice
like
and warm.
You look like Cousin Eddie when you do that.
Yep, exactly right.
Oh, that is fantastic.
American flag off the side.
Have you posted a picture of that yet?
Not yet.
That needs to be on the KCMO Talk Radio X account and social media, and Mark the Overseer.
I think I can do it.
I'm telling you, that's spectacular. How long have you had that?
I got it. I think I got it before Winter Olympics, maybe 8 years ago.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Your top moment of pride through the Olympics so far is the women's hockey team?
Women's hockey. That was pretty cool.
I mean, I'm not trying to offend anybody. These are some badass ladies on this team.
Oh, yeah.
They did a great job. And if you haven't watched the Olympics, and I've been skeptical of the whole thing, but it all started with the New York Times and all these reporters asking all these questions about Trump and ICE and all this stuff. And I was like, eh. And then the women's team just kept winning, and they were so dominant. And then sort of by a fluke, they were down 1-0 yesterday.
That's when I got them at plus money, by the way.
Did you?
Thanks to FanDuel.
Scored with 2 minutes left, got into overtime and won in very dramatic fashion on the golden goal. And they are awesome, man. They couldn't wait to put those ribbons around their neck with those gold medals and play Freebird by Leonard Skinner. They went to a club. They played Freebird on a loop over and over and over and drank champagne into the night. I am all about the women's hockey team. And the men go today in the semifinals, and if they win, they could play on Sunday for the gold medal, and it could be also against Canada. So we'll have more on that for you a little bit later, as there's another Olympic story that is gaining incredible steam, and it has to do with L.A. The L.A. Olympics coming up in a couple of years, but this one also involves Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, I hate to even do this. This is just so unfair. Rashee Rice. Yes, Cole Reagans and Michael Garcia. You got to stick around and hear this coming up in 30 minutes. Yeah, it's one story, involves all of those people. But we start today with something I saw yesterday, and I know Pam Kramer was in here talking about the World Cup, and I'm all good with the World Cup. I've made my peace with this thing for what it is. I've never I respect soccer. It does not entertain me like a lot of other sports. That's the best way that I can say this. But I'm all about the World Cup. Let's have it here. It's done. There's something happened here yesterday that just didn't seem right to me. I'm looking at a post by Mayor Cleaver on social media of him, Mayor Q, and I would still call Mayor Cleaver. And Mayor Cleaver's there, but he's now Congressman Cleaver, and some other muckety-mucks in Kansas City and Jackson County and whatever. And it looks like they're at the Current Stadium. And they take a picture with this board. I don't know how to describe it other than it looked like a giant golf check. You know, in the golf tournament, they used to have these giant golf checks. You've watched Happy Gilmore. You win the tournament, they give you the giant oversized check for how much money you just won. Well, they don't do that anymore. It's so cheesy and outdated. And here's all these muckety-mucks in Kansas City holding up a sign that reads, it has a dollar sign, 79,358,568. $79,358,568. And they're holding up a sign that we just got this from Trump, baby. Oh, yeah. The feds sent us all this money because we're brilliant. We're leading Kansas City. We brought the World Cup, and look at all this money we got for Kansas City. Now, this money has been set aside for security purposes, transportation, things of that nature. And Kansas City, I guess, had it coming and knew something was going to be coming, but they're really thrilled with the amount that they got. I didn't hear in any of the commentary that this is now a net zero for the people of Kansas City, that it's not going to cost us any money now because this federal money came. Whether it was in Kansas City or not, the federal money was being spent. So I'm all about getting the federal money. If Trump and the feds are going to throw this money around, which is sort of ridiculous sometimes, but they're throwing around over $1 billion. If they're going to do that for security and whatever, for local security and transportation, not what they're sending in. Trump could send in anybody he wants to make sure it's safe everywhere the World Cup is. That would be on budget because those people are already on the payroll. This is in addition to the federal forces that may be on the payroll. And remember, these are the local people that don't want federal help. Keep the feds out of our business. Our local police can handle this. Keep us out of here. No ICE. Stay away, Trump. Stay away, federal government. Get the hell out of here. We got this. Look at this check we got. $79,358,568. You are such hypocrites. Which is it? Oh, you want federal help if it's money. You don't want federal help if it's people on the ground. Well, guess what? They're going to be everywhere, too, during the World Cup. There's going to be FBI, DIA, ICE. There's going to be everything here. Probably the Border Patrol scattered around somewhere. You're going to have all kinds of federal law enforcement agents making sure that Kansas City is safe, and that's the way it should be. They'll be coming in from all over. But it was the picture that got me. I just don't know what to make of politicians in glee holding up a giant check that we got more money, we got more. It is our money. No matter how you look at it. We split it with 330 million other Americans, but it's our money. And you're just, oh, God, this is so much fun. Look at all this money we have to spend. It's pathetic. It's just a giant game that we have in this country. It's so sad. We have 11 host states. Did you know that Kansas is dead last in what they're going to receive out of this over $1 billion? Kansas is getting $5 million. Well, Kansas is hosting 2 teams, and Missouri's hosting 2 teams. Why does Missouri get all this money? Why was Clinton Lucas and Manuel Cleaver standing there holding up this check? Well, the answer lies within something that happened we were going to talk about a couple of days ago and I didn't get to. The state of Kansas has declared emergency. The World Cup is coming. They have declared a disaster emergency proclamation. And they have 15 days to ratify this in the Senate in the state of Kansas. And it will allow them to declare a state of emergency and receive funds from the federal government if they decide they don't have enough personnel for security and transportation purposes. Kansas got stiffed on this deal. Now, I'm guessing they didn't put as much in and all that. But if you're hosting 2 teams and Missouri's hosting 2 teams, Missouri's getting all the money. Kansas is getting $5 million. The lowest, there's 11 states where the World Cup will be hosting teams or whatever. They got $5 million. Missouri got all the rest. All the rest. And so they've declared an emergency. I was teasing Mark the other day that yes, the state of Kansas has actually declared that the World Cup is a disaster. And you know what? Financially, it is. And I've said this since day one. You've heard me from, I think, probably the very first week I started this show. I was telling you, the World Cup's great. It's great that we're going to have it here. But we only got it because it's the same. All we're doing in this town is people are complaining about the deal Kansas gave the Chiefs. Oh, that's a bad deal. They're crazy. They did that. Okay, they did. They did, but they got the Chiefs, and that's for decades. They got something tangible. We're getting the World Cup for 3 weeks, and the only reason we got it is not because we're cool or we're Kansas City or our facilities or our stadium. That's none of it. We outbid other cities that said, you're crazy. We're not spending this kind of money on something like that. This community, this region, like they like to say, did exactly what Kansas did to lure the Chiefs. They overspent with your money. You will never convince me otherwise. This is a giant money-sucking hole. So we better enjoy it for the 3 weeks that it takes place and have a whole lot of fun and safety and security because it's on, whether we want it or not. It's happening, and I'm okay with it. It's done. It's over. I know how this works. For the people that love soccer, but mostly for liberals and open border type people, they really love this stuff. Trust me, this is so in their wheelhouse. The open border crowd, this is right in their wheelhouse. Oh, the world is coming here to immerse themselves in our culture and see what we're about. Blech. Are you kidding me? Come on. What do you think? People from Argentina are coming. You know what? I think we'll move to Kansas City. No. And the highlight of their trip will be when they travel with their team, probably, and go to L.A. or New York or someplace they've never been and go, wow, I saw Hollywood, or I saw the Empire State Building, the Statue of Liberty. It probably won't be here. But we're awesome. We're going to be great hosts. Our people are doing a great job for what they are and what they're doing. And I just want to be consistent in everything that I say. I get it. It's sports. You overspend. You throw money away, and you do it for your community. It's a quality of life thing. Now, if you're asking me to compare the quality of life of having an NFL team in Kansas City or 3 weeks and 6 matches of the World Cup, that's not even a comparison. On a scale of 1 to 10, the World Cup is a 1, the Chiefs are a 10 in my world. But for a lot of other people, this may be the biggest thing ever. They're not so into sports. They love international travel. They want one world. They believe there is one world out there, a borderless world where, we don't have borders. We don't have countries. We don't have cultures. We don't have armies, whatever. They believe that's attainable someday. They love events like this. It's like the Olympics. They believe it's all true. And yet I'm watching the Olympics last night, and Alyssa Liu is winning the gold, and she's an incredible story because her dad's from China. And he left China, an oppressive Chinese government, fled China for the United States, raised a family here. She became an American citizen. And 4 years ago in Beijing, while she was there to compete, spies dressed up or acting, impersonating Olympic officials tried to get to the Liu family and basically turn them Chinese. Naturalize her is what they were calling it. And then this last couple of years, when she supposedly retired for a while, she was like, you know what? I got Chinese people after me. I got FBI agents around me in Beijing. I'm out. I'm 16 years old. This is too much. I can't handle this. She retired for 2 years. And then she came back. She said, you know what? To hell with it. I'm American. And the Chinese tried to buy her. We've talked about Elaine Gu and the money she made to be a skier at the Olympics. Well, our girl Lou that won the gold last night in the women's figure skating the first time in 24 years, her family said no thanks to all that money because that's the one they wanted. They wanted her figure skating for China. And she won the gold, and she's American in my book. I'm sure she's probably liberal. She grew up in San Francisco area and whatever. I'm not going there. But you know what? I don't care what you say about politics if your actions are about America. And that family's actions are more about America than anything probably my family ever did. Him leaving China, risking his life, starting a family here, raising an Olympian, turning down money from China, and skating for the red, white, and blue, I'm all in. Those are the stories I love. And maybe we'll have some of those around the World Cup. Maybe that's what this will be. I just think it's kind of funny that Kansas had to proclaim a disaster emergency declaration for the World Cup coming to Kansas City. 913-408-7957 if you wish to opine. This is Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio. The most common email I get from the listeners of my podcast is, why don't you talk about Epstein more? And I've said that on this show many times as well, that the thing has sort of bored me. There's actual news around the Epstein files now, which is great. I'll talk about those things all day. Epstein's dead. Like, if there's going to be fallout and actual things are going to happen, which is very rare, very rare. We saw former Prince Andrew get arrested. This is a huge story. And next in focus is a story that I don't know why it's not getting more attention. It's in Los Angeles. It has to do with the guy leading the LA Olympics for the United States and Epstein and a couple of Royals players and a couple of Chiefs players, and you're not going to believe this. I'll tie it all together coming up in our next segment. We're going to start with the phones here right now. Jeff is with us in Shawnee. Welcome to KCMO Talk Radio. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, great show. Hey, I'm not the demographic for the soccer, but I understand it. And I'll probably go down the Lake of the Ozarks for 3 weeks. But what do you think is going to happen if 3 or 4 million that are coming over decide to take political asylum?
Well,
how many people is going to do that? Because you know that many people coming over here, they're going to see the land of milk and honey, and they're not going to want to go back.
Well, we have the Trump administration in place. They're not going to allow it. Do you know that asylum, like the word asylum has been totally bastardized by the Democrats. Asylum is from a country that we recognize that the people have a human rights abuse, an issue, or some sort of a totalitarian regime that is oppressive to the people that live there. And if you get here, we will give you asylum from that country. There is no turning back. There are very few places on earth that you actually, the way the law is written in the United States, that you can seek asylum from. You can't come to the United States and asylum says, oh, I'm American, now I'm here. No, you have to have a reason where you're from. You can't seek asylum from Mexico. It's not a thing, right? I mean, Canadians aren't coming in seeking asylum. Asylum means I had to leave. I was going to die. They were going to kill me. I'm oppressed, and I'm here. We set this up for places like the Soviet Union and Cuba. You know, we had people escaping Cuba and seeking asylum. I get it. The communist country, there are places like that. But most of these people coming in have no right to asylum in this country, and the Trump administration will weed through that very quickly.
I hope they're strong on it. We'll see, man.
Well, they've been pretty strong on everything, or at least strong enough to be in a lot of trouble for it, right?
Okay. Well, great show.
Thank you, buddy.
Have a good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And is that the estimate? 3 to 4 million people are coming in total. They said 650,000 could visit the Kansas City area. And now we're learning that's over, at first we were like, okay, that's over a 3-week period. No, they're saying May, June, and July. Because apparently some people that don't get tickets are going to come here and say, I'm taking a vacation in the United States this summer. And while I'm there, I'm going to go spend a couple, 3 days in Kansas City and watch the English soccer team train. And they may go by the practice facility and do stuff like that. And so those people count too. So they're basically adding it up over May, June, and July. Here's what I don't know. How many visitors do we have every May, June, and July anyway? And if this is 650 total, is our regular number 100,000? I don't know how many people come and visit. It seems to me like that a lot of people drive around the Midwest and come down in the summertime to go to a ball game or go to Kansas City or visit relatives or go to the Lake of the Ozarks, stay a couple of nights in Kansas City. I don't know. I don't know anything about the tourism numbers here. I've never thought of Kansas City as a tourist destination. We're going to know when we see it. If there's 650,000 people here in a 3-week period for these matches, if that's what happens, we'll know. We're going to be overrun. You won't get in a restaurant. There are no hotels. People will sleep on the streets. We can't accommodate that many people if that happens. And maybe that's why Kansas declared a state of emergency. Made an emergency proclamation that they don't think, and this is for Johnson, Wyandotte, and Douglas counties, because which team is in Lawrence? It hasn't been announced formally.
Algeria was announced yesterday.
Oh, it was announced yesterday. Okay.
Officially, yeah.
Algeria is officially in Lawrence. So it's Douglas, Wyandotte, and Johnson counties are seeking federal dollars for security and transportation issues that they think are coming, because we have 2 teams in Kansas and 2 teams in Missouri that will be here for quite a while. They'll be here for quite a while. And theoretically, people from those countries will come here and visit their team, even if they don't get into the match. And even if the matches aren't here, because most of their matches won't be here, right? Most of those teams' matches will be out of town.
Yeah, we've got 3 of those teams, I think, playing in KC. At
right.
least one game.
One game. But a lot of their matches will be elsewhere. Yeah. And when that's all set up and announced and whatever, the fans can travel there as well. So it's going to be unique. It's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I'm not down on having the World Cup here at all. Once they decide we're going to spend the money, I'm going to stick with what I said all along. We're all losing money except Clark Hunt. And so it's identical to the stadium in Kansas. It's the same thing. Clark Hunt doesn't lose money. If you think the Chiefs are good at football, Clark Hunt is 20 times better at business. He's going to make money off this. He'll be the only one. There's nobody. Well, maybe some business owners do better in June than they normally would. There's some trickle down. Certainly, there's some businesses there, but they're going to wind up, we're all paying taxes and paying in whatever this thing's going to cost. So, no, I know Clark Hunt is not losing money on the World Cup coming to Kansas City. He had the big fight last year over the money that wasn't paid yet to him to tear up the stadium, rip it apart, and set it up for soccer. And they were delaying that by several weeks because they hadn't been paid their money. They're like, we're not going to pay one construction crew to come in here and start on this until I get my money first. Good for Clark. It worked. It worked. Oh, and then he left Missouri. Oh, yes, he did. Yes, indeed, he did. Okay, there is a couple of really twisted stories around Jeffrey Epstein that are now coming out. And the whole thing's backfiring on Democrats. They were so hoping to get Donald Trump, who's been pretty much completely exonerated. And all we're seeing now is one name after another of big-time Democrats getting caught up in this thing. And now the Democrat mayor of Los Angeles, the gubernatorial candidates in California that are Democrats, want the leader of the LA Olympics fired, stat, for his association with Epstein. Why that matters in Kansas City, next. How do I get promos for my podcast on here like Dan Bongino gets? I don't even promote it.
With Westwood.
Yeah, I know.
Have him push it.
I guess. I don't even promote it on here, man. It's my radio show. I try not to do that. 2 separate things entirely, which is all good. Listen to Dan Bongino. If you like, Kash Patel was on there a couple of days ago, and he said too much. It was not good. I did this on my podcast today. I won't go into great detail, but they were talking about Antifa, and he was following the money. These guys obviously worked on this together, and they're just sitting there doing a podcast. And Kash Patel says, oh, we found him. I'm like, what? You found him? And then he goes on and talks, yeah, we found the money trail. We found that. I'm like, shut up. You're on a podcast. Shut up. Don't say you found him. Hold a news conference with the names of the people you're arresting or indicting. What? Why? What was the whole point of Bongino going and doing that? I don't even get it. It's amazing because Trump was just like he's so in love with J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio. I just don't hear him gushing over Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. And there they were doing a podcast saying stuff they shouldn't be saying. Oh, well. Hey, maybe that's the reason to listen to Dan Bongino. He'll get Kash Patel on who says things that he shouldn't be saying. But he's going all Kristi Noem by saying crap like that. He is. Kristi Noem's had her own issues. They'd better be careful. And in a way, it is sort of the media way of life. Like Kash Patel became kind of a media star before he was the FBI director. He just did an awful lot of podcasts and interviews and had all these different theories and things going on. Dan Bongino built his show on conspiracy theories, basically, that everyone in the government's incompetent. Everything that you can think of has been covered up. Then he got there for a year and found nothing and basically did nothing and went back to podcasting where he's saying, oh, no, I saw it. It's all there. Trump says he's going to release all the information about the aliens, UFOs and UAFs, unidentified aerial phenomenon. I'm all for this. Trump's the greatest, man. I'm for transparency. If you're living in this crazy world right now where you can see anything in the palm of your hand on an iPhone and read anything, what could possibly shock us at this point? I mean, are we just sitting here waiting to find out that people in Chechnya or something are from Mars? I don't know. I don't think that's coming out. Bring it. We learned an awful lot about MLK. I'm not going to go into that today, but he was apparently in many, many ways a dreadful human being and treated women very poorly. That one didn't get much attention in the mainstream media because it wrecks all the bridges and roads that have been named after him. Everybody says, oh, they'll release the UFOs. There'll be nothing there. Well, I'm the guy that's been saying I don't really care about the Epstein files unless something happens because it's done, it's over, he's dead, it's gone, and she's in jail. I'm like, what? Unless something happens. Well, now stuff's starting to happen with the Epstein files. And so I'm okay with talking about this now. And maybe they should let Ghislaine Maxwell on the stand and offer her something, commuter sentence or something to learn all of what's taking place. Because if you're a member of the royal family and you were stripped of your royalty and now you've been jailed because of your affiliation with Jeffrey Epstein, it can happen to anyone. And it has. There's 6 or 7 that have had to quit their jobs, CEOs, media people, politicians. We got people everywhere in trouble over the Epstein files. And you immediately know those that are telling the truth and don't. I don't like her. I think she's full of, a lot of rubbish, shall we say. But Whoopi Goldberg came out on The View and said, here I am. Here's the email. I'm in an Epstein file. And she explained it. They were asking, does Whoopi know Jeffrey Epstein? Can they borrow his plane to fly her to an award show or something that was in Africa or Europe somewhere? Can we use the Epstein plane to get Whoopi there? Whoopi, do you know that? That was it. She wasn't on the island. She didn't know him, whatever. I'm good with that. That was the problem with the releasing all these files is you're just going to have all these people that you know their names that did nothing wrong, that just found their way into an email from somebody else. But not the guy that's heading the LA Olympics. His name is Casey Wasserman. Not to be confused, I don't think, with Debbie Wasserman Schultz in Florida. But Casey Wasserman is head of the LA Olympics, and he's in all kinds of hot water in the Epstein files. They are calling for him to resign from the Olympic Committee. He has announced he is selling his business because his business is falling apart. It's a train wreck. There's actually, hundreds of emails with him and Ghislaine Maxwell where they were sexual in nature, they were flirty in nature. He had a friendship with her for 20 years while he was married. Well, you can put all that together. And so this man is 51 years old, which made him one of the youngest people involved in this thing. And he's the head of the Olympic Committee. Casey Wasserman also has, I think, not 100% sure, I think the largest agency, if not, it's CAA maybe, the largest agent representation in America. It is a massive firm. Chapel Roan, who's from here, right, who was just in Kansas City a few months ago, Wasserman is her agent. She's quit Wasserman. She's finding a new agent. Cole Reagan's the Royals. Wasserman. Rashee Rice of the Chiefs? Wasserman. Mykal Garcia of the Royals? Wasserman. That's a small list. I couldn't look up every player. There's more in Kansas City. Wasserman's the agency. Now, he's not the personal agent for all those players. This is a massive firm with so many athletes you can't believe it, and it goes way back. Wasserman was responsible for signing Wade Davis to a massive contract when he was pitching great for the Royals back in the day and finding him more money. Wasserman represents Max Crosby of the Raiders. All kinds of singers, actors, artists, football, basketball, baseball, golf. You can't swing a stick without hitting somebody that the Wasserman agency doesn't represent. And en masse over the last few days, these huge names in entertainment and sports. I mean, if you don't think Cole Reagans has called his agent and said, we're out of here. His two agents are not Wasserman. They're people that work for Wasserman. The Wasserman agency is the corporation saying, I want out. Well, I give up. You don't want to be affiliated with the name Wasserman right now. He's going to lose his position. The mayor of Los Angeles, a Democrat, is calling for him to be out. Newsom wants him out. Gubernatorial candidates want him out. Everybody in California wants Wasserman off the Olympics. He hasn't done that yet, but he has listed his businesses for sale because it is falling apart. It is of no use to him anymore. His business is done. It is wrecked. It is over. Somebody can buy it, change the name of it, keep the clients, keep the lawyers, keep the staff, keep the corporation together, just as you'd purchase any other failing corporation. It can be saved. He needs to sell quickly. Like it ought to be pennies on the dollar. This guy needs out, and he needs out fast, or they're going to lose every single client they get. And he might be bargaining a deal right now with the Olympic people saying, I'm not resigning from the Olympics until my business is sold. Let me sell my business, then I'll resign in shame. And I'll just go away on my own island somewhere with my money and be gone. I do not feel one bit sorry for Casey Wasserman. I don't generally feel bad for artists or ball players or things like that, but this isn't of their doing. And almost every one of them actually has a lawyer or an agent at that firm that represents them that is not Casey Wasserman. Why? Because Casey Wasserman's the CEO and he's off doing the Olympics. He's not really representing clients anymore. It's just his business and everybody's running it for him. So I don't know who will snap it up. It's predatory. CAA, which is a massive agency, probably bigger than Wasserman, and a couple others, I'm sure, are contacting every single one of these clients, saying, we'll take you right now. Just quit and come on over, and you don't have to worry about any of this fallout, and you will always be able to say, the minute you knew Wasserman was involved with Epstein, you got out. And you'll never have to answer a question. When you go to spring training, they say, oh, your agent's Wasserman. Don't have to answer it. You're over here with CAA now. I quit him the second I found out. I'm out. Don't affiliate me with him. This thing is a nightmare. These things are happening everywhere. There are frightened, terrified, really wealthy, elite people in the United States right now. And it's kind of fun to watch. I didn't think this was going to happen. I was wrong. But it really wasn't worth talking about until we start to see the dominoes tumble. And seeing that prince get stripped of his royalty, and then a few weeks later or months later, whatever it's been, get arrested and jailed? Oh, the royal family? Wow. That's big stuff. How about we get them all? It's fine. And I'm not a big cancel culture guy, but most of cancel culture through the years was about the spoken word. It really was. It was about a slip of the tongue. Maybe you said something bad. You said something unpopular, or it came off as racist or whatever, sexist, whatever it may have been. Most of cancel culture was that. It was not 20 years of emails with Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's fixer, producer, whatever you'd call her. I can't imagine how disgusting her life was. It seems like an awful lot of men loved her. I cannot imagine. And she's sitting in a prison, not a hard prison. I think it's the one down, is it the white collar one down in Pensacola, Florida or something? Somewhere where it's sunny and warm, trying to bargain a deal for clemency or a full pardon for telling everything. I don't think that's going to happen because I think there will be Republicans caught up in it. And right now the ratio is, I don't know, it's like 8 of them. 8 Democrats have bailed. Have we got any Republicans in real trouble over this thing yet? Have we seen that? The Clintons are going to come testify. They're going to appear in the next couple of weeks. Did you see this billionaire from Victoria's Secret? He's like 85, 90 years old. He says Epstein stole money from him, that he was the biggest con man and thief ever. He got subpoenaed and spoke to the committee, but he sounded a little bit like a crazy old man because he sounded like he didn't know the money was gone when it was happening. It's possible. I mean, the guy was in the lingerie business. It's possible he wasn't paying attention, but really, a guy with a whole bunch of money in the lingerie business hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein and doing business with Jeffrey Epstein looks pretty bad. They might want to dig a little bit deeper on that billionaire. I think he sold the company long ago, whatever, and he can't have many years left from looking at him. Seriously, looking at him, I would have thought maybe he was 90. His lawyer leaned over into his ear yesterday and said, if you give one more answer, more than 5 words, I'm going to kill you. He whispered in his ear and thought it wasn't caught on audio, but it was. His own lawyer said, if you give one more answer over 5 words, I'm going to kill you. His own lawyer. This is really rich, powerful people it's happening to. I mean, how glorious is that? What a bunch of freaks. I'm rooting for some Bill Gates drama. I don't know about you. I've always thought that guy's a creeper. Just kind of looking at him, watching him, whatever. His wife clearly thinks he's a creeper. Absolutely, she knows. She knows at this point. It's not good. So, yes, all of you that have wanted me to do more on the Epstein stuff, I'll do it when it's pertinent. And I just wonder what Cole Reagans is thinking right now. Michael Garcia, the Royals, Rashee Rice, and there's got to be others. I mean, the last thing Rashee Rice needed was for his agents to be affiliated with Jeffrey Epstein. Rashee Rice? Are you kidding me? Like, he doesn't have enough problems. Now his agents are related to the Epstein files. Oh, my God, you can't make this stuff up. All right, we come back. We're going to check in with Mark. He's got the red, white, and blue going. Team USA in hockey's playing Slovakia today for a chance to win a gold medal. We got that. Oh, and Sunday Night Baseball is no longer on ESPN. What their plan is coming up this year with no baseball, next on Uncanceled. Okay, we're back. Mark, we've been looking at the hockey schedule here. The men are playing Slovakia today in the semifinals. Correcto? Slovakia is up next. Is that who we're playing?
Slovakia, yep.
Slovakia. And if the United States wins on Sunday at 7 a.m. Kansas City time, you can watch live the gold medal match.
It's looking like Finland right now.
Finland leads Canada as we speak.
They're up 2-0. Yeah.
Boy, it's been a rough, for having hockey as your national identity, things are not really going well for Canada. But, I can say a lot of things aren't going well for them. Except for Alberta. We love Alberta, Canada. That is absolutely the place to be, no question about it. All right, here we go. We got the Royals and Rangers playing today, the first spring training game of the year. Mark Van Sickle, do spring training games mean anything at all?
Not for us fans, for the players, just trying to get for pitchers, trying to get their pitches right and experimenting a little bit. For the hitters, trying to get their timing right. So for the players, I think it helps them ramp up. But for us fans, it should just be sit back, enjoy it.
And you will be watching a spring training game in Surprise, Arizona this year, correct?
Right.
First time?
It's been a while. I think 2015 was the last time I was down there.
Well, there you go.
So that could be a sign, potentially.
There you go. Who do they play that day? Do you know?
They play the A's when we're going.
The A's. All
Should
right.
win that.
Yeah, that sounds good. So baseball has left ESPN. I think what we're getting now is we have NBC's commandeered Sunday night. They've got Sunday Night Football. They're doing the NBA, and then they're going to do baseball as well on Sunday night. It has gone from ESPN. The NFL's really mad about all this because they paid so much money to the NBA. They're like, wait. You're paying more to the NBA than you're paying to us? Like, the NFL is miffed. So I don't know what the future of Sunday Night Football is there. But ESPN has countered with something that sounds a little absurd. But if you think about this, this is the lowest cost, highest ceiling thing ESPN has done in a long time. They're turning Sunday nights into a women's sports showcase. They're going to do WNBA. They're going to do other sports. It's going to be women's sports. Now, I don't know what that means for the current or for soccer or agreements or whatever, but if ESPN loves women's sports, That's not, I'm not saying that as a negative or pejorative or anything like that. Sunday night women's sports showcase, are there enough just blanket general women's sports fans that could catch on?
I think it could. I think that the Current might actually be featured quite a bit because they have a pretty good team. So I think they'll probably try to get the highest profile matchups. A lot of Caitlin Clark, you know. I'm not an Angel Reese fan, but there are some Angel Reese fans out there. They might put some Chicago Sky games on there, but I think that it could catch on.
And the good news is it would be up against either the NBA or baseball, which are not that highly rated. They're just not. I mean, NBC's not going to kill it with baseball on Sunday night.
Yeah, I saw some people joking about, oh, they're moving baseball. Their ratings are going to be bad. Their ratings were bad anyway.
Yeah. Baseball, most sports are regional. And, I heard Pete talking earlier today about the guy at the Rudy's Pizza. Like, oh, well, do we just want to be a conservative business or a liberal business? Everything's fragmented anymore, so it doesn't matter. The most massive business that we would talk about probably is maybe Apple, because everybody's got an iPhone in their hand. But that's not everybody. I mean, there were 150 million people didn't watch the Super Bowl. So it's impossible to capture everyone. So, my thing is, if Rudy's Pizza's sitting there and they got anti-ice signs and no deal, and I got somebody called Mount Rushmore Pizza down the street with flags and presidents in the window, I'm going in there. I built a thing called the KK list, and it is local businesses and services that are all conservative. And so I'm for that. I will support a conservative business every chance I get. If you want to see some of them, go to thekklist.com. They're all right there. What say you?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Whenever you get a chance. He says we're all on board. All right, we got a big concert coming up in a concert season at Morton Amphitheater this year. You've heard some of the spots running, and your humble host here absolutely blew the show today because about 10 minutes ago, I was supposed to tell you to call and be caller number 7 to win tickets to see Doobie Brothers and Santana August 26th, and I botched it. Are you ready now, Mark?
I think we're ready.
Let's bring them in,
Let's
okay?
do it.
All right, caller number 7 right now. All on me. My apologies. That is the second day in a row. I just have a 1-hour show. Why am I apologizing? How bad am I at this?
Hey, you got it. It was no big deal.
Come on. I was mean to a couple callers yesterday. Today, I forget the promotion, the contest. Who hires these amateurs around this place? Good Lord. Have a good weekend. I hope to be back on Monday if they don't can me.